I'm just here to interview or ask you a few questions on your experience with Bimal. So, what is the biggest difference you have seen as a result of working with Bimal, and how do you feel about your leadership after experiences with Bimal's coaching and workshops?
Probably the biggest difference for me is that, I've been around, I'm an old dog, and I've been around business my whole life. And he kind of reminded me, if you will, of a lot of the different things that are important in being a leader, instead of it being just a job or a task, that I was passing out. But if I was going to try to pick out one specific thing, I'm kind of a big Stephen Covey fan.
Okay.
In his 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. One of the lessons that Bimal was teaching us was beginning with the end in mind, and working backwards towards in that goal you were trying to accomplish. And that really resonated with me and helped me to formulate a business model that would really work throughout the year.
Nice. Now, one of the biggest things that happens when Bimal does his coaching is there are so many books out there that can maybe practically teach you the same thing. But the problem is that book does not come back to you and remind you that, Mr. Max, this is what we read.
Right.
Are you going to do this or not? So that's the biggest thing that Bimal thinks is positive.
Yes.
Because none of the coaches in the industry do that.
Right.
They'll remind you once and they're off.
Right.
And after a month. So do you think that him coming and reminding you, repeating the same things sometimes, it's a repetitive thing, but that's what makes it a habit?
Yeah, absolutely. The thing that really made an impact from that point is that his personal coaching for me, because when I decided that I was going to get involved with a business coach, I did it because I didn't want to leave anything to chance. And he came in and he did a great job with the team and all the rest of that. But the difference maker was this personal time that he spent with me. And as you say, the reminder, kind of, this is what you're going to learn, now learn it, and this is what you learned.
Right.
And then that touch again during that time frame when you're away from it,
exactly,
to kind of keep drawing you back to it.
That's nice, perfect. And maybe it's too soon, but what do you think is the impact to you financially, or as such running the business by yourself and teaching your team how to run the business? Has Bimal made on your business or yourself? Do you see there's a change in your personal life and work-life balance because of the coaching?
Absolutely. I've always taken my business and myself very seriously. And I think one of the things that I got personally was to kind of lighten up a little bit and enjoy the ride rather than it being such a job all the time. And it's interesting what impacts us over time. Those constant, again, reminders that, what I was looking for. Well, he made me also set my goals higher than I normally would.
Right.
Even though they were maybe in my mind unrealistic, what I did learn was that if I didn't set the goal higher, I would never achieve anything higher.
Sure.
You're never going to achieve anything higher than you set the goal.
Right.
So that was a big part of it for me.
Right. And the work life and the personal life balance, did it shift a bit, or do you see some change there?
Absolutely did. It really, actually, maybe bringing pictures of my wife.
Okay.
No, and I say that kiddingly because I love my wife a lot, but I really do take myself maybe too seriously and my business too seriously, and the enjoying myself in my free time more completely. I became, I believe, a happier person.
Yeah, I think that's the right word, where you say it's more completely, because business owners, if they are so engrossed in their work, it's always good.
Yeah.
But when it's their off time, they still are attached to that thing, and that doesn't make them enjoy that personal time to the fullest. And I think you put it the right way, where
if you don't separate, if you don't leave, and you're always in that mindset, there's no peace, there's no joy, And so that's the thing that probably gave me more than
Nice,
anything.
good. And coming to your employees, what do you see is the difference in your employees' productivity and performance after Bimal's coaching or before Bimal's coaching? You see a difference there slowly happening? Are they more involved in the work that they're doing?
It wasn't very slow, it was very rapid because we didn't have a lot of processes in place. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do this was to get more processes built into the business so that we weren't always just going, coming in every day and hoping for the best. We actually had a plan. And then what I saw amongst the team members was that they were beginning to work better together instead of them trying to figure it out and then communicate it with another member. They were working and formulating the processes together, and so they all had buy-in. So that was a big difference for us.
Nice, good. And what would you say to somebody who's considering hiring Bimal or considering hiring a business coach for their business or their personal life or getting that balance, training their employees? What would you say to that person who has done the first couple of workshops with Bimal and they are thinking, is this for them or not?
Yeah. One of the things that I would say would be that, we all think that we know what to do. That's why we're entrepreneurs. That's why we got into this. We have that fearless attitude. But I know this is an overused expression, but often we don't even know what we don't know. And pointing that out and bringing the team involvement into it, combined with the personal coaching, was I would recommend to everybody, regardless of the size of their company or what they were trying to accomplish. Because when you have the unity or a company functioning together, I got to tell you, you can accomplish so much more.
Yeah.
I mean, I had set these huge expectations, and Bimal got the team kind of, engaged in it, because they had something at risk as well, about a reward for them if we're able to make that. And that even though we didn't make those goals, their buy-in got us a lot closer. But without his coaching and without the processes and procedures and stuff that he brought to the table, we didn't even realize that we could never even have done what we did. And I thought we were all set to do huge volume.
Right.
But once again, as I say, the biggest thing is to have someone on your side. We always have those two voices.
Yeah.
It's really nice to have that friendly voice on this side, say be happy or be healthy or be, don't be so stressed.
Right.
And so that's to anybody that was going to do this, if you're serious about your business, having a coach, somebody there to help support you, that's a big difference maker.
That's right. That's good to know. And one of the things as a testimonial we even try to do is when we send out the testimonials to other people, we want them to know what business you are in or what you're doing. It's like an elevator pitch where you want others to know what you do, so that it could be a connection where somebody's watching the video on my website.
Right.
They'll think, oh, you know what, I need to talk to this gentleman because there's something that we can do for each other.
Right.
So, I would request you to do a short 1 minute or 30-second elevator pitch saying what you do as a business and what kind of people you're looking to meet, or that way we know exactly, what kind of business.
Well, John's going to give you the best one of those because he's focused on that. But that being said, we are in, everybody says the people business, but all you have to do is turn on the radio or the TV today, and the country is in total stress, just stress, and is bipolar, We are in the health industry. We are health insurance agents. I've been a health insurance agent for 30 years of my life. Most of that time I ran a small agency, and this is the first time I went out, and we've grown this. We now have several hundred affiliates out in the field, 10 people in the office here, so it's a big change for me. But our business is about medical cost sharing. People are really burdened today with the cost of health insurance, and a lot of people are going without it.
Yeah.
And our model is about half the price of traditional health insurance, but there comes with that, you know, there is no free ride in this world. There comes with that some personal responsibility, so that each member has to be involved in being health focused. They don't necessarily have to be healthy, but they have to be health
At least
focused.
show at times that they're trying to be healthy.
Exactly. And you know, I think that everybody wants to be healthy, and you just have to kind of bring that out in people.
Yeah.
And so we're on a crusade, if you will, to change the way that people pay for their health care.
Nice.
And that's with medical cost sharing versus health insurance.
Perfect.
And we have the only group platform in the United States that I'm aware of using medical cost sharing as part of the ERISA program.
Oh, perfect, great. I think that pretty much summarizes everything. Thank you so much.
Okay, great. I'll get
Thank you.
John.
Sure.